So this is Stream and Podcast. How is everybody doing? Let's get on with the topic, shall we? The topic is how life in the universe got formed. Since there are many people who don't understand how it got here, I'm gonna give it a go. To understand how we came to be, we first had to go with the beginning, the Big Bang. We don't know if there was something before the Big Bang. We don't know. The thing is, we know that there is a Big Bang because everything is getting away from each other, and so everything is diverging from a point. If we turn the clock backwards, everything came from a single point, and that's the Big Bang. In the Big Bang, there was at first it was just energy. It was just a bright bundle of energy. There was no particles. There was no elements. There was nothing. When it started expanding and cooling off, hydrogen started forming, and then because of gravity, bundles of hydrogen started getting together. It either formed planets or formed stars. The planets are too small to generate pressure, so that hydrogen merges into helium, making energy, and so energy can't come out of the sun or a star. After that, given enough bundles of hydrogen together, they start fusing by the pressure of gravity and start giving off energy. If a star, the sun is a star, if a star loses enough energy that it cannot burn hydrogen anymore into helium, giving out energy that warms planets, making life on planets possible, it stops giving energy, and can happen two things. One is it turns into a black hole if it has enough mass, and other is a supernova. Since there's too much pressure, there's so much pressure that it makes everything explode. If it's too much pressure, it's black hole, but if it's just enough pressure, it explodes. And that explosion makes all the elements we see. It makes carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and all the others. Well, after the explosion happens, there's a new generation of bodies that are called planets that might get into a sun and form planets that can bear life. There's millions and millions and millions of bodies that don't allow life. In most of the universe, in 99.999% of places on the universe, there can't be life. And even on Earth, if it's too cold or too hot, life cannot happen. And you say, well, it's finely tuned for life. No. Life emerged from where it can happen. There's a nice metaphor which goes, a body of water says, I was made for this hole because I fit in it perfectly. No, the water takes the shape of the thing it's bearing it. That's how life happens. Life happened where it could have happened, where the conditions were necessary to happen. It's not that it was designed. Well, but that's for later. Well, after there's a planet that has all the elements necessary for life, and it cools off because it was so hot that it has to cool off, but receives light from a star, it is hot enough to not freeze water, which helps the following set of elements, which is first those carbon, oxygen and nitrogen start forming molecules. NH3, CO2, H2O, and those elements start fusing together into bigger molecules, like amino acids, proteins, and then what happens is those proteins start being self-replicating, RNA and DNA. Then prokaryote cells form, and then eukaryote cells form. Prokaryotes are things that don't have many organelles inside of it. They have just the RNA or DNA. Bacteria and archaea are prokaryotes. We are eukaryotes. We are cells that have many organelles inside of it. They have a nucleus, have a mitochondria, and that can self-replicate and have multicell and gives and helps to give multicellular organisms. Okay, so next. And then those are the conditions for survival to make life. It's not survival of the fittest, it's not natural selection, and it's not survival of the fittest, natural selection, and evolution. It's survival. What guides the shape, behavior, and configuration of an organism. I don't like organism, but because it means it's organized. It's not organized. I don't like a system because it means that it was designed, and we're not designed. We happen to form by laws of physics, and we took the shape of the thing that we could. Yeah, those organisms survive. Look at the slug. The slug doesn't do anything important. Doesn't do much. Just goes very slowly. Lays eggs, and then slugs eats some kind of plant. It's not that it's not that intelligent, smart, fast, but it survives, and that's why it's here today. Well, going back, I don't know if which came first, if plants and they were eaten by animals of single cell configuration, or first there came animals that eat organisms with chlorophyll, which can produce glucose as a fuel. It's likely that, well, first there were chlorophyll-filled cells that produce their own food, but then I don't know, I googled it and it was unclear, but first cells have chlorophyll to produce their own food, and then maybe they grow and eukaryotes developed eating those plants which were multicellular, or first there were multicellular no, I think first there were multicellular plants that have chlorophyll, because a multicellular organism can't feed very much on one cell of chlorophyll, one cell that has chlorophyll. Okay. Also, if there was design, how come we almost went extinct together with the 99.99999% of species that went extinct? At one time there were 40,000 at top humans. So what a design, what a finely tuned for life. The design is to kill life. Look, the amount, and this is how evolution works. The difference to make, the amount of time needed to make the difference between between chimps and humans is 2 million years. It's not fast. It's not like a chimp can give birth to a human, because even having the small change we have today, we have ever, of a small change from father to son, there is a lot of birth defects, there's a lot of disease, there's a lot of mutations that are not producing life. So if it was so radical to make life change its species in one generation, it would be too much change to be possible to have organisms survive the change. Mutations are so dangerous that if you made a big change, the likelihood is that it's going to come out as a bad mutation, not a good one. And if the parents are surviving the environment, it's more likely to give a small change so that there's continuation of survival. There's a little improvement, there's some change so that it can go better, but it's not. But the ones that survive are the ones that change slowly and can behave better on the environment they're in. The other thing, if we are designed, how come we have an appendix that doesn't serve us any longer? Why do we have recurrent lineage nerve that goes from the top of the neck down to the neck and then goes up to a part it's needed. And on giraffe it's disastrous. It's all the length of the neck. Why do we have a tailbone? The tailbone is from our past, which we have tails that serve us to grab onto trees or swim. Why the reproductive system and the waste system are together. One tube to breathe and eat, which ensures people will die necessarily of asphyxia from getting food into their respiratory canal. Why do we look for pleasure and instant gratification more than reason, more than what's logical? Why is there addictions? Why is there obsessive compulsive disorder? There are lots of flaws. Our reason is flawed. We can't make good mathematical problems. There's birth defects, there's cancer, there's pestilence, bugs that eat your eyes. There's so much wrong going on that doesn't make sense with the idea we're designed. So that shows that it's not design. There's no, and God made, which means God made us with that flaws, with that things, and then since we're inevitably gonna have flaws and succumb to the flaws, God punishes for what he has done. That makes no sense. If he designed us, why does he made us flawed and then punish us for being flawed? I mean, makes no sense. And I've heard, well, God can make whatever he wants. The thing is, everyone says God is good, everyone says God is all powerful. So why would he make things that are so evil and so wasteful and so disastrous for life? The most likely answer is not there's a benevolent God that will give you heaven if you don't make mistakes. By don't make mistake while at the same time being created flawed. That's impossible. You might say, well, God can be evil. God can do whatever he wants. And I say, well, first, then he's not good. And second, if he's evil, why would he try to help you? Why would he try to make you go to heaven if he's evil? Doesn't make sense. So yeah, that was all of it. I hope you have a good weekend. I hope you enjoy your life. And remember, what turns you on? Only the best. Do what you love. Fuck the rest. We're not made, we are meant. And die standing up more than live kneeling down. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed and it was valuable for you. Take care and I love you.